What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day at B is for Build HQ. Today we're going to be taking it a little easy. The last few days we've put in a lot of work, and sometimes you just gotta relax, sit back, and see the fruits of your labor. And my fruits are in the form of a V10 with now exhaust, and we have to do the volume test. That's what's going on today, is a volume test. We're gonna turn the car on, we're gonna run it for a long period of time. I just remembered I forgot radiator coolant. Shucks. Gotta make one quick trip to the store, and then we're gonna do the volume test, guys. That's what's in store, that's what's in this episode. Vroom vroom. Stay tuned. Before I get down to barely doing any work at all today, I want to take a second out to thank our sponsor. This episode is brought to you once again by Trade Coffee. I love coffee. You guys clearly love coffee based on how many of you used our promo code last time, which is awesome. But I love coffee for a quick energy boost in the morning, helps me get my editing done faster. I also love the taste of it, and I just like that it's kind of a relaxing thing to do. I enjoy making coffee and making coffee drinks. Lately, bit of a tangent, but lately I've been just super hooked on getting home from the shop late at night around 11, between 11 and midnight, and making a little decaf with some pumpkin liqueur and a little whipped cream on top. Oh my God, such a good coffee drink. Anyways, back on subject. Trade is special because they match you with your perfect coffee. They have a 6-question quiz that matches you with the right coffee for you, and then they will deliver it to your doorstep as frequently as you would like. You can sign up for the service they call the Hookup, which is what I have, where you get to try coffee tailored to your taste profile from the best roasters all over the United States as often as you want it, and prices start at just 15 bucks a bag. With Trade, the coffee is always fresh because they roast it right after you order it, and then they ship it right out to you, and you can really taste the difference in that really freshly roasted coffee. The last coffee I got paired with is called the Parlor Prospect. I feel like that's a good pick-me-up drink in the morning, and I've also been drinking the Novo decaf at night. The main thing that I love about Trade Coffee is the hookup service because they're just sending me new, fun coffees directly to my door. I don't have to go out and do the shopping, I don't have to do the picking and thinking about it, and it's really fun to try the new coffees. I love it. So take the quiz and get an amazing bag of coffee perfectly suited to your tastes. If you're one of the first 100 people to hit the link in the description, you'll get 50% off of your first hookup order. That's half off, guys. Half off your first hookup order if you use the link in the description and enter the code BUILD2. That's B-U-I-L-D 2. We'll get you half off. That's awesome. Thanks so much to Trade Coffee for all the coffee and sponsoring the episodes. I do appreciate it. Now, let's get down to barely working at all. I'm really excited for this day. All right, well, I've got a list. We're gonna knock our way through the whole list, and then we get to start the car up in here at Roar. Exhaust manifolds, I need to make sure those are tight, so I'm gonna tighten the nuts on the exhaust manifold right now. All right, well, all those were tight already, so we're right on track for not doing much work today. Next thing isn't actually no work. I gotta go ahead and mount the power steering reservoir, the return line, which is gonna go down this way, and the other line, which is gonna connect up to this guy right here, and then I gotta mount this guy right here. Although that would just be a fake mounting. I gotta build the brackets for it. I'm gonna build the brackets, and then we're gonna temporarily mount it into this piece, even though this piece is getting replaced. So it's kind of just like a test fit. Everything here is gonna just be a test fit. I will, however, that's a good question. Do I even break out the power steering cooler that works? Nope. Nope, this one still flows, it's not leaking. Okay, I'm gonna use the dinged up power steering cooler too. This is all just a test, so we're not running the power steering system dry. It's gonna work fine for the test fitting as well. So, here's what I'm doing. Mounting the reservoir, running the lines that come up into this thing, running the line that goes back, and then we're gonna put some power steering fluid into the car. Sounds good? Sounds good. Let's get started. Power steering cooler is mounted, zip tied. There actually wasn't enough room to build brackets. I might upgrade those to stainless steel for the real deal, but honestly, this thing doesn't take a lot to hold it in there. So unless I come up with something more clever, stainless steel zip ties is gonna be what happens. So our return line is down here, and this is our only line that we're actually gonna have a join. So because, I mean, where that goes from there all the way across the engine and over into a proper hydraulic fitting, screw that noise. This is a low pressure line. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect this with an extender, and to connect it, we need a piece of aluminum tube, something like this that it's supposed to connect up to. So what does this mean? I'm gonna do some aluminum welding. That's right, Eric's not the only one that can weld around here. I can kind of weld. I'm gonna cut this thing off right about here, and then I'm gonna clean it up, and I'm gonna build a little lip onto it like what we see here. I'm gonna use the TIG welder, and I'm gonna do a little bit of build up with a filler rod around it to build a little bit of a lip that hose will hang on to. I think, I hope, I can do this. All right, I welded up my joining piece. I got a flawless victory on this thing. I mean, not really. It's gonna work. It's just not pretty. See, that's the difference between my welds and Eric's welds. Is his are pretty and they work, and mine are not pretty, but they'll work. So that'll work. And then what I did was I trimmed off the larger of these two lines. You probably saw me working on this hard line right here. It needs to be hard line because it's gonna run next to the exhaust manifold. So we're gonna keep it a hard line. We got rid of the larger one because that's gonna run down over there away from the exhaust manifold and connect in with our connector. Then this hard line right here is gonna come down, run along the frame rail, dive underneath our oil filter right here, and then come up and around. Now I'm not gonna do all that today. I'm gonna lazily like kind of run it through here because we have to tear this whole thing down in about 4 days anyways for paint, so it's not really worth it. Actually, it won't be 4 days, but anyways, we have to tear it all down soon, so it's not really worth it to do the final mounting headache right now. So the more important thing that I'm going to focus on is building the bracket right here. I want my oil filter to land right here, so I'm going to build a bracket. It's got a pretty high cap. If you guys can see, that's pretty high, so I'm going to mount this thing as low as I possibly can. So I'm going to go ahead and make up a bracket right now. It's got the 2 holes in it, it's the right width, and then I will tack weld it onto the frame right there. Mounted. It is mounted. Looks good. Mounted this bracket way down low. The bolts are just hand tight, so it's still a little bit loose. Ran that one hose that goes down there, and then the other hose here. These are both return lines. They're low pressure lines, so they're not too like crazy critical or anything like that. You can use hose clamps on them, which is awesome. You don't have to buy hydraulic line, and everything's gonna work out good. So that is basically done. We just gotta fill it with some power steering fluid. Also, speaking of fluids, I want to go ahead and take a break. I'm going to go buy some dinner. I'm going to get some tacos and a bunch of water that we're going to put in the coolant reservoir, fill this whole car up with fluid. And then, while I'm filling that, and I'm going to be back here, we're going to go ahead and do this vacuum line. So this vacuum line, we're going to cut this right here. There's a one-way valve right here. We cannot, I don't know if you guys can even see that. It's right there. Can't delete that. So we're going to go ahead and cut this off right here. We're going to run a line from here to the engine right there. And that will fix our vacuum leak on the engine, getting us one step closer to running. We've sprung a leak. The good news is the water's getting all the way up to this point in the engine, which is awesome. That means it's reaching where it needs to go. The bad news is that this hose is not on there, most likely because that hose clamp is in a bad spot. I probably need to rotate it down to around here or something like that. I think it's getting blocked by some of those wires and stopping this hose from seating all the way. So I'm gonna have to pull that thing off, redo the hose clamp, and send it back on there. We are no longer leaking, but we leaked, and that hose clamp is a bad apple. Moving on, vacuum hose. All right, that vacuum hose is done and it's running into the brake booster. Now that means we're getting pretty close to startup time. Only 2 little things left to do. One of them is this. So this is an ambient air temperature sensor relocation kit. So this plugs into where the MAF goes, that plugs back into the MAF, and this relocates the temperature. Now, we're doing a MAF delete. So what I've heard is the best way to do this is to plug this in to one of these. I'm not really sure which one, but one of these. You plug this into one of these, plug this ambient air temperature sensor, which Brett, my BMW Parts Jedi, sent out to me. So thanks, Brett. Plug this into there, plug that into there, and then leave both the MAFs off. In theory, rumor has it that the car will run decently. It'll default to a MAF-less map and use fuel maps after that. Oh, I gotta put this back together. I just realized that. So I'm gonna put this back together. That's important. This stuff kind of goes down here. And then I'm gonna install this guy and this thing, and then we'll move on to the last piece of the puzzle before we can start it up. All right, with that done, I just went ahead and picked that side of the cylinders. I don't know which side that the car reads the ambient air temperature from, but whatever, we'll figure it out later. With that done, I don't want to be plugging in the seats every time that we need to start the car. Obviously that won't work in the long run. We can't have the seats outside the car at SEMA. They don't really look very good. So there is a PT CAN bus signal running into this wire and what I assume is back out. So there's two bundles of PT CAN bus wires in here. There's only one module in these seats that talks to the PT CAN bus system as far as I know. So my guess is that one bundle goes in and one bundle goes out. So what I'm gonna try and do is I'm gonna come back up in here and I'm gonna go ahead and splice the wires and I'm gonna connect them. So I'm basically gonna close the loop. Hopefully the signal will come down this line and then it'll just shoot right back out and it will forget about the seat module and it won't care about any of that stuff and the car will work as it was supposed to. If this doesn't work, what'll happen is I'll turn the car back on and it will act like it did before we had the seats in there, which I remember very well. So I'll know that at that point it didn't work. And then what we'll do is we'll have to strip the seats, steal the computers out of the seats, mount them in the car completely uselessly just to make the computer happy, which isn't too crazy considering what we've done here. You know, it's a small price to pay. So anyways, I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm gonna do it on both sides real quick and then we will turn on the car and we'll see what it thinks. All right, great news. I powered up the car and that worked. So obviously we don't just twist wires up here and electrical tape them. We're gonna use some legit butt connectors and crimp them together and then heat shrink them down. But things are looking good. So we are about ready to start the engine and we're gonna finally hear what this exhaust sounds like, which I'm very excited for. It's gonna sound like a lot of leaking, but we're also gonna get a good idea for the tone that it's putting out. So if you remember, our pickup in the fuel tank is on the other side of that slant. So I gotta slant the fuel tank back a little bit and then I gotta run my hot lead over to the front here so it can fire. Then we're ready to fire this thing up. All right, it is go time. We're gonna get it started up and we're gonna actually be able to leave it on for a while and listen to it and give it some RPM and see how it fares. Let's hope we don't throw a rod bearing. Or spin one, I should say. We don't have a brake pedal. That could be a small problem. Car probably will not start without a brake pedal. Who stole my brake pedal? Guys, we're gonna need a brake pedal. All right, very good. Now we have a brake pedal and we actually have to press it and there's actually a brake booster behind it, so that's all good. So, it's time once again. So it's pretty loud. We definitely have some exhaust leaks. A good deal of the sound is coming out of here. All right, it's time to give it some RPMs and see how bad it is. This is the point where I realize it's 1 a.m. and I just woke up the neighbors. Whoops. Had to head outside to get some fresh air. So what we learned is we definitely need a muffler. It'll be plenty loud with a muffler, but it's too loud without a muffler. So I got an idea for the next time Eric's here. I ordered some shorter resonators that'll bring the thing back a little bit. We'll do an S-curve, kick some stuff out, get some stuff going out the back. It'll work out. It's gonna work out. So I guess that answers that question pretty definitively. If you can't get over 3,000 RPMs without earplugs, you probably need to add more muffling. I have a big announcement for you guys. You guys know that I'm bringing this build to SEMA, which is very, very awesome, and it's gonna be displayed in the Koenig Wheels booth at SEMA. But I have also partnered with SEMA, the organization, to be a judge for the Young Guns competition. So Young Guns is a subsection of Battle of the Builders. Every year, SEMA does a Battle of the Builders where people that bring their cars, they bring their awesome builds and want to have them judged and basically judged to see who built the best car at SEMA. They all come and do that. So Young Guns is for people 27 and younger that want to enter. So it's kind of a subsection, and they all get judged amongst themselves, as well as then in the end judged against the rest of the Battle of the Builders. So it's a pretty cool little subsection of the competitions, and I am lucky enough to get to be a judge of that. So it's a pretty cool thing. I just want to let you guys know that when I'm at SEMA, I'm going to have a lot of coverage of that, and that I will be there doing that. And actually, you guys can judge some of the things right now. I'll put a link in the description. There's a link to the SEMA website in the description. So the way that they pick the Young Guns is throughout different car show competition, different meets and stuff like that. They got a lot of different people. Well, all the regional runner-ups have now all the runner-ups have been thrown into one basket, and whoever wins the online voting for the runner-up will also get their car brought out to SEMA. SEMA's done a really cool thing for these young people in paying to have their cars shipped out there, as well as themselves shipped out there and put in booths to do the same type of thing that we're doing with our build here. Except we're not part of Battle of the Builders, and we're not going to be judged, thank God. So anyways, there's a link in the description, guys. If you want to be a part of it, just hit that link in the description and vote for the car that you like the most. I already voted today. It was pretty cool to check them out. So I'm very excited to see what we're going to see at SEMA and be a part of that coverage. And that's something fun to look forward to, as well as being there with this, I was going to say amazing car. It's amazing. It's so loud right now. Damn. Anyways. That's it for the night. Huge thanks to Trade Coffee, guys. Also hit that link in the description. Remember, first 100 of you get 50% off. If you made it this far through the video, probably that might be gone, but just, you know, the offer might not be gone. So just click it anyways. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I may take tomorrow off. I'm not really sure. Given that it's 1 a.m. right now, I might just do a supplies day. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. If not, I'll see you the day after. That's it, guys. Peace!